grew up outside of Houston, about 35 miles northwest of town. Close-knit family. You know, during the 60s, a lot of country music in the house and in the neighborhood. Merle Haggard, George Jones, certainly Tammy Wynette. Eventually, kind of got into my sister's 8-track collection. Exile on Main Street was there. I think it was Led Zeppelin 4, maybe some Neil Young. And so things really changed after that.
You got me standing on the bridge and looking down. I left my house up on the ridge on the other side of town.
I think a pivotal moment for me, you know, I'd already gone through my, you know, hard rock and punk rock and indie rock phases and some of that. And I started listening to Joe Ely. It really focused on the song. His voice definitely sounded familiar to me because, I mean, it was so entrenched and it's such a big part of it. I mean, he's from the Panhandle, but it was very Texas. There was a little bit of Jerry Lee Lewis kind of in some of what he was doing vocally. And then he just had a killer band. So, I mean, he was the guy early on, I think.
It's everything I wanted. Everything I want. You know, search for perfect harmony.
You know, on the new record, it had been a few years since we had done anything, and a lot had gone on. There were some health issues that I had to deal with, and I actually took a break for a little while, really for the first time in what seems like forever. I had spent some time in West Texas over the years, gone out there a few times. And so I actually went out there, you know, alone for a few days just to write some songs. I went out and stayed in Marfa. It was really interesting because of just the sparseness, you know, the high desert out there. I mean, yes, it's still Texas, but it's very, very different from where I grew up in the pine trees in Southeast Texas, and then later lived all these years in Houston where it's just still in concrete everywhere. Going out there, I mean, it's just nothingness.
Drive all day to Balmorhea. We'll be nestled between heaven and hell, under the Marfa lights in the dead of night, drinking by the pool at the Thunderbird Hotel.
While I had a few things that I had demoed and kind of had set aside, I wrote a few things while I was out there, and then even when I came back, I mean, it was still in my mind. Some of the things that I wrote, you know, after, even if lyrically it didn't necessarily connect to what was going on out there during the recording process, you know, it certainly kind of made its way in there a little bit.
Waiting for your heart to skip a beat, but you're feeling numb.
Dust Devil was very different. I wanted things to kind of come together organically. There was no rhyme or reason to a lot of it. We kind of figured it out as we went along. It may have taken a little longer than I wanted, but I was very satisfied with the process. It was just really cool, and really, I'm very satisfied with the result too. Stylistically, they're everywhere. There are some things on the record that are similar to maybe some things I had done in the first couple of records. You know, the lead-off track, Miserable Troubadour, could fit right in with the earlier stuff. The second track, Don't Take It Away From Me, was really very Pink Floyd based. Then we got into some other things, maybe a little bit more singer-songwriter oriented. Thunderbird Hotel, certainly, that was definitely influenced by the stuff out in West Texas.
My hands are turning numb, but I still gotta strum my velvet guitar.
You know, one thing that I wanted to do, I think I'd probably wanted to do for a long time, I hadn't covered anything on a record, but I covered Alejandro Escovedo's Velvet Guitar. I did one song called Silhouette that's, for lack of calling it anything else, it's kind of this gothic surf thing. It's tongue-in-cheek. I wanted to do something that wasn't so damn dark and serious.
Too scared to open the door out onto my street. Like Bill Lana said, he's getting dangerous.
Gated Community Blues is a song that's pretty interesting. It's probably one of the first songs that I wrote after the Tucson record was released, and so I'd had it a while. Here's the hedge fund manager in this gated community or whatever. He's got everything he needs, and then the new neighbors move in, and it's the meth dealer. The whole idea of the Wild West capitalism that fuels all of that. Really, all I want at this point is for folks that like this kind of stuff to hear it. That's really it. I think I got it right. Stylistically it does bounce around a little bit, but you get to the end of the record and I think you're thinking, wow, yeah, that was cool.
Under the marble lights in the dead of night, drinking by the pool at the Thunderbird.